Great. Now that we have our norms and our setup for the day gone over, we are going to transition to our do now, which is a collaboration board. You have officially conquered the first 2 weeks of your junior year. Please use the collab board. How do you feel? This is the first time many of you guys have taken multiple AP classes, or APUSH might be your only one. So just use this collab board to express yourself. Remember, these are confidential comments. So you can be vulnerable and your peers will see what you are saying, but it doesn't necessarily have your name on it. Only I can see that. So we're going to take the next 2 minutes. How do we feel? Remember, you can share and like each other's responses. Reminder, this is confidential. Your peers do not see who is saying what. I am seeing your guys' names, and this is giving me a good understanding of where everybody's mentality is. So that way we can work together to make sure we are successful. Thank you, Mela. I just saw your chat, your Zoom chat about Yappy. Appreciate it. So as you can see, we have a range of emotions. We are tired and stressed. Some of us said we're annoyed. And there are some comments that are talking about how they've been able to get through all of the work and all of the materials. So first, I want to say I am proud of you guys. The rest of your teachers are proud of you. So even if you are having trouble finding that pride within yourself, which is a totally normal feeling, especially at the beginning of a quarter, I stand by that Q1 is the hardest of any school year. It was always my least favorite when I was in school or in college. Q1 is rough. So know that if you're having trouble finding pride in yourself, know that your teachers are very proud of you and use that as motivation. So something I want to highlight again is that some of us are overwhelmed, but also we are feeling a lot of pride in the impact that we are making. And as a reminder, we are only 2 weeks in. There is time to change. So I'm going to spend a little bit of today's class just kind of reminding us on how AP classes are different than regular classes in terms of expectations, and also some resets that we are doing within AP US History as a way to work with this stress level that we have and trying to figure out the most constructive way to learn while also making sure that we are feeling less overwhelmed. So we're going to do both of those things. I want you guys to leave this class at 10:20 feeling better. So how are AP classes different than regular classes? As a reminder, I know you guys have heard this before, college level courses are, an AP course is a college level course offered in high school. And what we are learning in AP US History is a reflection of what you might take in a History 101 class in a college. So as a reminder, that is something to be proud about in and of itself. You are 16 years old, some of you, 15, 16, 17 years old, taking a class that 19 or 20-year-olds take. Only 18-year-olds take AP, History 101 if they're like me and they're going to be a history major. And all AP courses offered nationwide have to be approved by College Board to ensure that you are meeting that AP, that College 101 rigor. And you are going to be taking an AP exam on May 6th at the end of this course to get college credit. And the number of AP courses that you take is one of the top factors after your GPA that determines college admission. So when you are applying to college, they are going to look at how many AP classes you've taken, not just because they want to see that you're quote unquote smart. They want to see that you're willing to push yourself and try new things and challenge yourself. And many colleges would rather see you get a B in AP US history than an A in a regular history class. And also, as we know, a score of a 3, 4, or 5 on the AP exam can earn college credit or placement into advanced courses. So by taking it, let's say you are just so impressed by all the history that you learn in this class and you want to be a history dork like me, then you get to skip the History 101 when you go to college and move on to a History 201 course. And if you are like, thank God I never have to take a history class again, congratulations. You are done with your history prerequisites before you even leave high school. So there are two really major benefits of taking the AP US history class and passing that exam, whether you love history or whether you are taking this class because you have to. And why take an AP course? First, you get to study something more in depth with a teacher that's passionate about it. Obviously, I am passionate about history, and that is something that can be discussed later on as well. I'm a total nerd, and we talked about this the very first day of APUSH, that history is an important class to me for a variety of reasons. But when it comes to use, but it's not just about me. For you, you are going to learn how to critically think in a more efficient way. You're going to learn how to manage your time, which is the biggest predictor about whether or not you're successful in college. I know super smart people that failed out of college because they couldn't manage their time. And I know a lot of people like me who might not naturally be that smart, but know how to study and know how to manage their time and end up getting through a master's degree. Time management and study skills are the biggest predictor for whether or not you will be successful in college. And finally, this class is not around to make you feel stressed. This class is not here to make you feel annoyed. This class is here to help you feel confident. So when you walk into a history classroom on a college campus, that you feel like you can succeed. So that is the why we are taking AP US history instead of regular history. But I want to hear from you. What about this specific class has been the most overwhelming? Be really specific. Is it the homework? Is it the classwork? Is it just having this on top of other AP classes like AP Bio and AP Lang? Or are you having issues with the historical content? This is going to help me tailor my office hours to better fit your needs. And I am super excited for you guys to see each other. So when we look at what other issues we're having, we can maybe even find some really good study groups with our peers. So we're going to take 90 seconds on this collab board to reflect on our experience in APUSH. Jamal, why are you giving away my secrets like that? I just saw that. Yes, just so you guys know, that's how, hey, everybody remembers George Washington now. Remember, heart each other's responses so that way we can see that other people are having the same struggles as us. And make sure we're using this Zoom chat effectively. It's hilarious, but keep it on task. This is why I miss you guys. I miss being in person. Okay. I'm seeing a theme. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and pause our responses, take the remainder of the time to heart and like other people's responses so that way I can see which ones are becoming the most, what are the most relevant issues, because I think we have basically everything on here. Great. So what I am seeing are like two major things: the homework and getting through some of the content, which is really hard, as well as like managing our multiple AP classes. But what I'm really seeing is that it's getting through the history and then getting the history homework done, which is totally understandable. I hated Cornell Notes when I took this class a million years ago. Oh God, it's been 10 years. You guys are the 10th anniversary of me taking this class. Jalasia, I just want you to know, I saw your email. I just haven't responded because of what we're doing today. But I just saw your comment that is reflective of that email. So I promise I'm not ignoring you. But yeah, I hated Cornell Notes when I had to take this class. I hated them. I can't even explain how much I did not want to read a textbook when I was in high school. But something I realized like a week ago, you guys are not only having to read a textbook, you have to read a textbook digitally, which sucks. I am still a person that will buy a hard copy of a book. So I am totally understanding that reading a textbook online and then having to take Cornell Notes can be super weird and super exhausting. And it's also like a lot of reading. But now that I have a better understanding of where we are all at mentally, we're gonna go through a couple of resets for this class. The first is the Zoom tracker. As you know, if you attend class, you will be getting a 100% on the Zoom tracker. However, I am noticing that whether it be technology issues or we get distracted by other things in the house, when we're on Zoom, we are passively listening and not all of us are engaging on the Nearpod. The Nearpod is now going to be factored into your Zoom attendance grade for this class. So long as you are participating in the fill in the blank, any potential do now or open response questions on Nearpod, you will still get that 100%. But I'm doing this to encourage you to make sure you are actively working within the Nearpod to make sure you are getting the 100% for not just showing up, but also for participating. I might also use the Nearpod to count as one of your cold call grades. So make sure that we are actively engaging in Nearpod while we are in this class, which you guys have been doing a great job of both yesterday and today. I just want to really stamp that this is going to affect your actual grade. And remember, the Zoom tracker grade is there to help you. Everybody, so long as we are attending class and answering a cold call or getting a 100%. Next, I am going to go over new homework expectations. I am changing up the way that we do homework. Rather than you have to take Cornell Notes on 30 pages of reading and you have a week to do it, we are going to make a couple of resets. The first is that you are going to be doing key term definitions instead of open Cornell Notes. Every week, you are going to be getting a list of key terms, which can also be found at the end of the chapter that you are reading for that week. And in your Cornell Notes, you are going to be defining that key term and also noting its significance. These key terms are going to range to about 30. You guys might have heard about the dreaded flashcards from last year. Right now, I am combining Cornell Notes and flashcards. I personally think this will be easier to do because you have that specific key term, you know what page it's on, and you are going to be able to find that definition and significance as opposed to blankly reading a screen. We will revisit and see how these things are going in a couple of weeks to see if this is making an impact in our in-class learning, as well as homework completion. The next is that I'm splitting the homework into 2 assignments. This will still be 1 assignment in PowerSchool, but half of it is going to be due Monday evenings at 8 o'clock. And the second half is going to be due on Thursdays at 8 o'clock. So it's still going to be the same length of an assignment, but we're splitting it in half so that way it's a little more chunked so we can feel a little less overwhelmed. And if the first half is not submitted Mondays by 8 o'clock, you will be required to come to my Zoom office hours from 2 to 3 on Tuesday. So again, if you do not get this homework submitted by Monday at 8 o'clock, this is the first half of the homework, you will be required to come to office hours on Tuesday. And this is to ensure that no matter what, we are at least getting a 50% on our homework grades. because our homework grades is what is really hurting our grade book right now. So I have an example or an exemplar of what these key terms or definition as insignificance is going to look like. Guys, make sure we're keeping the chat on task, please. So an example of what this would look like is the Stamp Act of 1765 is one of your key terms for the first half. I also have this example in your homework assignment. And you need to find the definition and the significance of the Stamp Act. The definition is literally the definition. What or who is this term? So the Stamp Act's definition is, the Stamp Act was passed by Parliament after having a lot of debt from the French and Indian War. This tax was on paper goods and affected the elite the most. That's just the blank definition. That is what the Stamp Act is. When I'm looking at the significance, I'm questioning, why is it important? Why do I need to know this term? And so the significance for the Stamp Act is, the Stamp Act was one of the main causes leading to the American Revolution, as colonists believed their rights were being trampled on by a distant power. It also marked the end of it also marked a sign of ending salutary neglect, which is a key term you'll learn later. So in the Zoom chat, please chat out what is the difference between the definition and the significance. What is the definition between definition and significance for these Cornell notes? Thank you, Arabia. Thank you, Jalasia. Thank you, Kayla. Beautiful. And the reason why we're splitting this up is it's not just enough in history to memorize key terms or key dates. You also need to be able to explain why we're learning those dates or why we're learning these key terms in the first place. So please raise your hand in Zoom if you have any questions about the homework expectations. Great. Hopefully those were clear. This homework assignment is officially posted. Remember, this first half is worth 50% of your Zoom participation grade. These Cornell notes or key term definitions are due Monday at 8 o'clock. If you do not get them turned in, you will be in office hours with me on Tuesday afternoon. Words. Okay, let's go back to the Nearpod for one last collab board. Before I release you, I want to emphasize all of the homework that I give you is because you need it. And the reason why I've reworked these Cornell notes is because I want to make sure that it's the most constructive way of learning, while also being the most time sensitive or reasonable when it comes to your guys' time. So hopefully this will make a difference. I want to see more homework completion because it has not been what it needs to be. So we have reworked the APUSH homework, and it's because we are trying to make sure that all homework is going to best help you when you go to that exam in May. So in the collab board, what new strategies are you going to use to ensure that you complete your homework? So what new strategies are we going to be using? Great. So I'm seeing a theme that we are going to be setting ourselves up. So after classes, so at 3 o'clock, that is when we start doing our homework. I love that idea because you don't want this going into your evening. And again, I have reworked this to try to be the most like the most reasonable type of homework for your time. And that it's also helping you do the most amount of learning. So, and hopefully by splitting it in half, that will make it easier to not procrastinate. Now, for the remainder of the class period, we are going to have work time. Now, what this is, you are still required to stay on Zoom with me until 10:20, so don't leave. So until 10:20, we are going to work on either makeup work, doing corrections, or getting ahead on this homework that is due on Monday. What I want you to do is privately chat me on Zoom what you are planning to do for the next 10 to 12 minutes before I release you to the exit ticket. So for the next 10 to 12 minutes, what are you going to do to help boost your APUSH grade? Please privately chat me. If you have not signed on to AP Classroom, that is going to be your priority. I will message you if I need you to get onto AP Classroom. So again, make sure I only have 2 chats. I need to know what we are doing. Thank you, Jalasia. I got yours. Thank you, Shakim. I got yours. Yes, Leah, you are on AP Classroom. Great. Thank you, Kamaya. Thank you, Takia. Thank you, Ashley. If you're going to be doing makeup work, please let me know which assignment specifically you're going to work on so we have a very tangible goal. Because makeup work is very vague. So I want to hear like, I'm going to make up this homework or this assignment. I do not have office hours today, but I will have office hours next Monday at 2 o'clock. I'm sorry, I might not have made that clear. When you are doing, so for makeup work, you need to still have those 5 pages of Cornell notes. But for the upcoming assignments on key terms, you just need to do all of the key terms. I'm looking to make sure the key terms all have definitions and significance. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be a certain amount of pages. So just as a reminder on the upcoming homework assignment, that example that I put in the slides in the Nearpod, that example is in your homework assignment. So you'll have that to go back to make sure you're modeling your notes correctly. I just realized the homework that I just assigned, I did not include the textbook chapter. Give me 2 seconds to get that edited. I knew there was something I did wrong. Eddie, Dwayne, can you please check the chat for my question, please? Okay, if you're working ahead on the homework, the assignment should now have the textbook chapter. Just to clarify, you're not doing regular Cornell notes, you are just doing the key terms. So all the key terms listed on that file, that is what you're using to make your Cornell notes. Please raise your hand on Zoom. Would it be helpful if I shared my screen and showed you guys what I'm looking at or like what I'm thinking of? Okay. Thank you. So I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, so this is where your homework is. Under your assignments is homework textbook readings. When it's gonna look a little different for me because I'm the teacher. But when you look at the instructions, this is where I explain what you're supposed to be doing. This is the textbook chapter right here. And if you look all the way to the last page, it will, or page 31, these are some of the key terms. These are the key terms that you have, and it actually tells you about what page you can find those key terms on. And then on the Google assignment, this is what you guys should have viewing for. These are the key terms that you need to have the definitions and significance for by Monday at 8 o'clock. So this is the first half of your assignment. And then I have an example of what this should look like. And then you're going to create either on paper or digitally your own Cornell notes. But these are the key terms that need to be done by Monday at 8 o'clock. Okay, thank you, Eddie and Dwayne. Let me see if I can find that information for you. Okay, Eddie, I'm sending you your login information now. That's the last that we had. And Dwayne, I'm sending yours now too. Eddie, Dwayne, and Kayla, please let me know once you're logged in. And then I'll make sure you have the code. Great. Those of you guys that are either working on makeup work or getting ahead, please complete the exit ticket. And once you do so, you may go.